My name is Silas. I am a counseling psychologist and CEO of Amazon Counseling Center. We have been here before. We have been doing this program on mental health every Monday at 8 a.m. Now we are doing at 10 a.m. And we are going to journey with you. So you're welcome. Be part of us. We actually began with what we would call life before life. Now, life before life basically means the preparation when parents begin to prepare themselves to begin, to receive children, to deliver children, to conceive children. What are we supposed to do? What preparations do we need to put in place? Maybe both mentally, physically, spiritually, socially, and all that. And so today we are discussing about the ages between 8 years all the way to 19 years, what we would call a preteen, or there's preteen, there's teen, there's adolescent, whatever you want to call it. But basically today we are going to refer to it as adolescent age. And so we are going to discuss much more on mental health, particularly regarding this age bracket. But I just want to give a few statistics that World Health Organization has shared with the whole world. And the information that we are getting is that 1 in 6 people are aged between 10 and 19. That means where we have 6 people, 1 of them is actually aged 10 to 19, which I think for me, in that case, tells us that we are discussing about a group of people that is very important in the society. We also told, according to the statistics, that mental health conditions account for 16% of the global burden of disease and injury in people aged between 10 and 19. So of all the struggles that young people go through, 16% of those are actually about mental health. And so that's why it's really essential for us to be able to discuss about this. The half of all mental health conditions start by 14 years, even though we know that most people are not diagnosed at that point, and also they are not treated. So imagine at 14 years already, young people are experiencing mental health. It can be diseases, illnesses like depression, bipolar disorder, substance use, addictions, and all the others that probably we'll be discussing as we go on. Then globally, depression is one of the leading causes of illness and disability among the adolescents. We are told that depression globally is one of the leading illnesses and that cause disability among the adolescents. That means there are accidents, there is coronavirus, there is malaria, there is cancer and depression and others, but depression is the one that is leading in causing disability and all the illnesses that young people are grappling with today. Now, suicide is therefore the leading cause of death in 15 to 19 years old. So of all other forms of death, what we would call natural death, accidents, other sicknesses, all that, we are told that depression is actually the leading cause of death among this age bracket, 15 to 19 years. Now you can see how serious this really topic is for us. And then lastly, in terms of statistics, the consequences of not addressing adolescent mental health conditions extend to adulthood, which basically impact and impair other aspects of life as they grow up. And so you realize how important this is. Of course, we say that adolescent is a stepping stone to adulthood, or teenage is basically to prepare yourself to adulthood. And so this is a stepping stone. Now, if you have not transitioned smoothly from adulthood, from a teenage or adolescent to adulthood, then you really have a rough time living the rest of the years. So basically we are saying, okay, lifespan of people today, okay, we have been told like in Kenya is 40, but I believe there is more than that. We live longer than that. But we can say the average, age is basically, let's say, 60, 70 years there. So that means if you live your past years, like from year 0 all the way to, let's say, year 19, if you live those years well, then from 19 years to 60 years, you will actually live a better life. That is not to mean that there are no other occurrences in life that can impact mental health of people. Of course there are, but how you're grounded on those years from age 0 to 19, that will determine how you navigate the other experiences, the other years that will live after that. And of course, let's say if you are talking about life standard is basically you're living, let's say, 60 years. So if you subtract 19 years, basically, you realize that we have about 40, probably 41 years. So 41 years, you'll be living according to how you lived your teenage. That's really amazing. It's important we understand that how you live your teenage years will actually determine how you live your rest 41 years. So if you live these years well, then it basically means you are likely to live also the 41 years happily without a lot of struggles. We also need to say that adolescence is a critical period of developing and maintaining social and emotional habits important for mental well-being. So during these years, what you're doing is you're forming yourself. You're preparing yourself. We are preparing our teenagers and also our adolescents to prepare themselves to be able to handle life as it is. And so this age is really essential. It's just like saying that the first years primary school, for example, all the way from nursery all the way to maybe class 8, is a foundation. It's a very strong foundation that actually somehow determines how your other academic years will be like, and sometimes even your career. So these years are very essential, even for the adolescents and especially their mental well-being. So what is happening in their lives at this point? They are actually learning a lot because they do not know, they don't have an experience of their own. So the most probably they are focusing on the teachers, they are learning from their parents, they are learning from social media, they are learning from the society, they are learning from all other aspects of life. And what happens at this point is the point that actually their mind is really growing, because it's extending all the way from that individualistic kind of self-centeredness to a point where they start embracing the universe, the society. They start embracing other people. They start embracing the rules and laws that are there in the country. They start fighting with the peer pressure that actually they experience during that time. They are also trying to establish their spiritual stamina at this point. So basically they are preparing themselves. So if they have not learned, for example, interpersonal skills, which really are very helpful in relationships, you realize that when they get to a point of relating, they really struggle a lot.